and I'd had some friends did shows, and I thought I'd really love to do that, but being in heels and on stage is like I played softball. I walk like a truck driver. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that's for me. Um, and then gosh, so I've been competing for 3 years. So it was the end of 2022. My boyfriend and I were trying to have kids, and we found out pretty abruptly that we couldn't. And so that kind of sent me, I was getting like very unmotivated to go to the gym, to go to work, to pretty much do anything. Because I was like, what am I doing? I'm in sales. Like, what's my purpose here? So I'm just fortunate enough that the gym I worked out or still work out, Anytime Fitness in Madison Heights, on my lunch breaks, John Simmons and Drea was training there, and I'd seen him a lot, and I was like, I kind of need something to like occupy my time. And I just approached John and was like, hey, I'm thinking about competing. And he's like, okay, well, my show's in 12 weeks. So I was like, oh, shit, we're doing this. But it really, I mean, bodybuilding kind of saved my life. Like, I was in a very low point. I was like, I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And from there, now I'm training people, and it kind of set me on this whole new path. So that's how I got started. I wish I would have gotten started much sooner in life because I'm not that young, but yeah, it was just the right time.
Well, like I said, it's bodybuilding. I think I've talked quite a few ladies. It was a sport to kind of help them, especially the mental part of their lives, the physical part of their lives. A while back, I had a couple ladies on who were dealing with cancer. It was that sport that kind of helped them. Ladies who deal with like anything from mental to sexual abuse. It's a sport that they found that really helped their mindset. And I know, like me, I don't have children. I didn't have the time, or just I live in a small town. I didn't want to get mixed in and find out when me and cousin have kids together. Our kid be our own grandpa. But yeah, I know from my experience, from my conversation with you ladies, it was that thing that gave you that drive. That and, like I said, I interviewed a lady who was like 55 years old when she started. Another lady who competed for 30 years got a pro card at 74. You're never too young for it. You just got to be not much about motivation. It's about consistency, discipline, and the passion.
Yeah, and the mental journey of it is so much bigger than the physical part of it. And I think as a woman, and the more people I meet in the sport and talk to, you don't realize how much of yourself you give and give and give and give. And not that you're doing it expecting anything back, but then you start going through this process and you have to say no, and you have to like put you first. And that was like a huge thing for me, was like, wait, why am I not making time for myself? Like, now that I have this strict schedule and the strict routine, I'm finally actually forced to make time for me. And that was like the biggest thing. Like, why haven't I been doing this all along? So the mental part of this whole journey and the whole sport is so much bigger and deeper than the physical. Now, like, being shredded is awesome, right? But that part of it has been like life changing.
Yeah, and like I said again, she said shredded. As we guys, as I know, as admit my crime, I'm almost a person. We love you ladies who get shredded. It just, but that's the thing is, that's not something you can keep up forever. It's something that's part of the competition. So why figure, or was there another division before you started?
So I started in bikini. Um, and my stage weight was like 98 pounds. I think when I started, I was like around 110, 115. So I was like, okay, bikini, that makes sense. I had like flamingo legs. I'm like an upside down triangle, naturally. Like that's just, I'm like the mini fridge with no legs. Like, but I did my first show, and I didn't think I was gonna win or anything, but I got last place in like every division. I was like, whoa, okay, that sucked. But yeah, they told me my upper body was too muscular, and I'm like, I'm 98 pounds. What are you talking about? But Drea right away and John were like, figure, like you're naturally built for figure. And I was like, okay. So we just started. I did a show right after that, just because I didn't know any of the divisions. I was new to bodybuilding. I was like, what is figure? Like, what are we doing here? And so I went and did a show out in Indiana. Drea like literally took like an hour of her time. Like, hey, we're gonna go through the poses. Just go do this. And so bikini didn't fit my personality. Um, Even though I still teeter now and then, like, should I go back? Like, now that I'm a pro, am I more bikini? Am I more figure? Because I'm still trying to grow into the division. But personality wise, I wasn't like the hair flipping, it didn't suit me because I'm just not that feminine. I wish I could be like those bikini girls that are sexy and their walk, and I'm just like, ugh.
Hey, hey,
um,
hey,
oh,
you should never take the shot off yourself. You're attractive, sexy woman. Every woman has a different style. I interviewed a young lady who's a bikini competitor. She looked like she could be a figure competitor. I've seen ladies who look more like one division compared to the other. It's about the process of how you grow. And you mentioned John Simmons. John Simmons, who trained, one of the greatest women sport of bodybuilding. That is Andrea Shaw. She's so beautiful. This is a true story. My first bodybuilding show I went to was Savannah back in 2022, and she was guest posing that year. Just to see her there, and I had friends told me, say, George, it was like maybe about 2 or 3 weeks before the Rise in Phoenix that year. She wasn't as usually she is. She was still beautiful, but then somebody said, George, when she's on, she's on. I mean, she's just amazing. Before, also, I want to say this story because I can't help it, because as often as I say, my other half says, if you give us something, never do it for free. And one of my things is a friend of mine, her name is Eunice, and she runs her own company, Bad Rap. Bad Rap is the moniker, big and defined, ripped and pumped. This weekend she's going to be attending the Steve Carr show, because also Andrea is going to be guest posing. I wish I
mhm.
was there. She was there back in 2023 when she won the Olympia when it was Orlando. She got me this issue of muscle development. It was like she sent me right after my birthday. And what makes it special, why I'm a fan of Andrea, and she took the time off and tell me, thank you for what I'm doing. She appreciated my support. And how long y'all know each other? That.
How long have I known Drea?
Yeah.
It's funny because when I was working out at the gym there, like I said, I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. I didn't know who she was. And everyone kept saying, isn't that the gym that like Miss Olympia trains at? I'm like, okay. And I'd seen her, she always said hi, she's always polite. And then I realized who she was. I was like, oh my God. So we've been seeing each other for years at the gym. I mean, I've been working out there for 15 years. And then we really started getting to know each other like these last 3 years. And as beautiful as she is on the outside, I I can't even explain. Like, you walk away from her presence and want to be a better person. Like, she's captivating. If she's in the room, your eyes are on her. She just has that contagious charisma. Like it's not just when she's on stage. It's just that's just her. She's just smiling and she's always positive and she's just a great human. I mean,
I know I'm getting so deep too because I think she's amazing. I mean, people tell me about her. People like your friend Abby, Lynn Buscemi. She talked about her, how they knew each other for a long time. I got a friend of mine named Big Keith. He knows her, and him and his wife were working with John for a good bit. She is, I think, she's the gold standard. This is how I say it like this. She's like the fifth element. She's perfect.
yeah, and she's six-time Miss Olympia, right? But you never see her, or I've never heard her ever say anything bad about anybody, or she's competitive in her own way, but she's never, that's not what she puts out there. Like, she's such a positive influence on the sport too, for that reason. I mean, it's just, yeah, I wish I could be more like that. We always laugh when we're together, like, I'm the devil and she's the angel on your shoulder because I'm trying to talk you into shit. And she's like, hey, watch your mouth. But it's so funny and we get along so good. When I got our foster daughter at Playstar, I called her right away, like, hey girl, I need help with her hair. Can you come over? And she's busy and just let alone with training and traveling all over for guest posing. And she came over here and we're washing her hair in the sink. And I mean, she's just a great friend. And I mean, it translates into the sport so well. So
Yeah, I think sometimes opposite attracts. You're the devil. She's the angel, and that's good. She helps you with some things, and you learn from her, and that's a process. I think that's important, especially for a new pro like yourself, that have someone like the current Miss Olympia, 6 time and probably eventually 7 time champion, really helping you out. We have here a comment. Shout out to my guest here. This is from uh, this is ABZ. Shout out to you, welcome, brother. He says, uh, figure all day. Also, they say, "Oh, you have the attitude for sure all day," and also this is from you. Yes, it is an angel. All right. And, oh, we know who this is. It's Abby Lopez. Yo, Abby.
Girl.
Yo. Hey, girl. Hey, Abby, if you want to come in for a minute, I'll send you a link if you have the time. You want to talk about your friend, if you're interested. But going back to you, what was that feeling like, as a competitor, especially competing, because you've been athlete for a long time, but bodybuilding is a different type of sport compared to any other mainstream sport.
Yeah, because there's not a lot you can control, right? So the only thing you can control is how hard you work. And I played sports my whole life and never truly understood that until I got into bodybuilding. Like, coaches would say that, but I'm like, yeah, we're a team. We got, it depends who you're playing kind of thing. But no, you can only control how hard you work and everything else is. And that took me a while to get used to because I like to be like, no, I've got this. I want, everything laid out. So, um, and that's motivating, but that was like an eye opener, I guess.
Because the training is different compared to where most sports you're training for performance. Which one you're training for presentation. Also, your diet changes because you have to come in a certain way. I think only people that can close to a bodybuilding diet is maybe fighters, because I do interview with fighters, because you have to come in
Mhm.
at a certain weight, you have to come in certain conditions and shape. It's just, that's the thing about this sport. That most people, when you think about bodybuilding, and I say this quite often, I think you take a magical pill, you get really buff and huge.
Yeah.
But no, there's more to it. If you're not consistent, if you're not disciplined, if you're not persistent.
Yeah, and you can look the best that you've ever looked, and you can look better than everybody backstage. But if you don't know what to do on the stage with it, when it's your time, that 15, 30 seconds, it doesn't matter. And that was the hard posing is still the hardest part in the presentation part of it because it's a presentation. And you could work for months and months and months and go up there and not show it off the right way. So there's a lot more components to it than just dieting and getting in the gym every day. So
hmm And you talked about earlier how you're not that girly girl. You have to wear the high heels, especially you're coming from divisions like bikini and fitness and wellness and figure, where you have to wear the high heels. Where the other divisions, you can be flat footed, you can be barefoot, you have more pose and more presentation. But you find a division that works for you. We have a comment from Abby. She says, he says, yeah, I'm in the bed. Okay, okay, we won't let you come because we lay in the bed. You enjoy it and watch the show. But this is the thing about this sport. It is very subjective sport. It has evolved over time. Like, I've been fighting about it for a long time, and it has evolved over years. From, you go to people like Richard McLesh, to Corey Everson, to Linda Murray, to Kim Javeski, to Iris Kyle, and to someone like Andrea, and even some ladies like Sarah Vilgas, and the current champion, Natty Cuejo. The evolution of any sport is just part of how you grow as an athlete.
mhm. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, even since I've gotten into it just 3, 4 years now, it's changed so much even from then. So you really have to keep up with what's going on. You have to pay attention to that stuff. So I'm trying to get better about that, but um but yeah, it has changed a lot, but I think like the outside perspective of it has also changed. And I think it's cool. Like, there was a little girl that came up to me at a show, was like, I want to be strong looking like you. Like, I don't want to be thin like you. I don't want to be, I want to be strong looking like you. And I mean, when I grew up, that wasn't the mindset. So it's, as much as the sport has changed, it's also changed, you know, the view on that, which is awesome.
That's good, because you know what? It's good that you are being influential to other people and young women. Like, you have a young girl, you have a little girl. How old is she?
She's going to be 7.
Oh, and what she thinks about her mommy, the big muscle woman.
Oh yeah, so she'll tell you all day long, I'm going to be a bodybuilder, but I'm going to be a fat one because I like treats. And I said, well, honey, I don't know if that's a thing. She goes, it can be a thing. I was like, okay. And she goes, I know, I need to eat more protein. And I was like, yeah, something other than Skittles would be nice. But, you know, she's like, I'm going to do it. So we take her to the gym quite a bit with us. And at the end, we're like, okay, now you can do your little workout and stuff. Or John will do a workout with her. But um, it's her first time being like open to that. So she went to the Arnold and saw that. But when the guys get up there at first, she'd be like, ew, they're in underwear. And then she sees girls and she's like, those aren't even underwear. But now she's like, oh, their butt looks good. Like she gets it.
Well, that's the thing about children. Like I said, I don't have children at home, but I do have nieces and nephews, great nieces and nephews. Children can be open minded. They're just their heart's so pure. One of my nephews, he just had a new baby, a 2-month-old little girl. Hadn't got a chance to see her yet. She's just a beautiful little thing. That's the thing about children. They're just so open minded and willing to accept you as who you are. So we have a comment from here. Sean Fred Abby, she says, yes, you can have the muscle, but if you don't know how to present it, you mind as well not have it. Yeah, it's like, and also with me doing this content, one if you follow my channel, one of my favorite characters is Batman. I'm a big Batman fan, and one of my favorite movies is the Chris Nolan trilogy. And there's a scene in the Batman Begins at the end of it where Gary Oldman playing Jim Gordon, who's Lieutenant Jim Gordon, says to Batman, says, I never get a chance to thank you. And he says, never have to. But also, there's a part where he says, where he's have a scene with Ra's al Ghul, played by Liam Neeson, says, be aware of surroundings at all time, young Master Wayne. Never give your footing for a killing blow. Just doing this stuff, I have to be aware of my surroundings. What's going on? What's going on? Like I was more a fan of women's bodybuilding. That's my sport. I love that sport. I've been a fan because my brother used to see the muscle mags and the women were just something. But then doing this content, I really expanded because you're my third figure competitor this week. I got a chance to talk to because it's a division that's really really evolving. Like it's the evolution of, as you said, you did bikini, then with the figure, and then several other competitors eventually go up. Like one lady who's number 2 right now on Fred Andrea, she's Ashley Jones. She was figure for a good while with physique. And then now she's number 2 in the world women's bodybuilding. Do you see yourself maybe making that jump, or you feel like you're more comfortable at figure?
I'm comfortable at figure. Like I said, I'm still trying to grow into the division. I'm still small. But I'm a pipsqueak. I know that. I think for me as a woman, it's getting easier now, but like off-season struggles with putting on the weight and going through the bulk. I think I'm comfortable in this division. And although that, if it could be my demise, it could hold me back. But because I'm still growing into the division, I feel good. If I would have stayed down in bikini, I would have been holding myself back. And that's what John talked to me a lot about. Like, okay, so you're going to do more cardio and lift less. Like, is that really what you want? Like, you're not, you're getting your full potential here. So, hey, if your upper body's big, why don't you work on the lower half and like start matching it? So, we knew it was going to be a lot more work going this way. But yeah, I think figures where, I grew up hating how broad I was. Like, it was in the 90s, like button up shirts were in and, polos, and I looked like a truck driver. And I could never wear a button up shirt. Abercrombie to have these cute button ups. No, they're pulling. I was just too broad. So my whole life, I kind of like hated that. And this is the division that it's like, no, you want to have a broad back and broad shoulders. So it's the first time I've actually been able to like accept that, like celebrate it. If my ass could match it, that would be great, but we're still working on that. So, but yeah, no, I like the figure division, and the figure division's getting big. If I were to show somebody an overall winner from bikini, fitness, figure, wellness, physique, bodybuilding, the way they would line them up might not be what you would think, because sometimes it is very hard to tell between the divisions. So, and each division is growing, better supplements, better training, more knowledge. That's going to happen. So I'm still playing catch up.
Well, the thing is that this is like some ladies tell me, this is not a race, it's a marathon. It's about taking your time going. You don't want to like blow yourself out too early. I mean, hit your peak and then boom, you crash. Like I said, yeah, figure you have that, as you say, upside down triangle. Some ladies tell me it's upside down Dorito shape. You want that wide back. You want those round cap shoulders. If you look at the physique division, you're supposed to be more leaner, more athletically built. If you look at the women's bodybuilding, where you have the good like people talk about Andrea's muscle bellies, they're just crazy, and
It is.
her physique. And as you know, there's a new division coming up. Excuse me. Sorry, it's called Fit Model. I just can't get off my tongue. I interviewed a couple of Fit Model competitors. They're nice ladies. I have nothing against them, but we are bringing in a division that's going to end up evolving like the other divisions. Like you're saying, the girls' bikini are getting too big, but then it won't take it long because, like you said again, the supplements, the diet, the training, the practices are changing, and
Mhm.
like anything, it's going to evolve. You look at the girls in wellness. Some of those girls will one time figure a bikini, and their quads are bigger than some women bodybuilding physique.
Oh yeah, so at the North Americans last year, I crossed over. I did bikini and figure. And that second day doing bikini, the wellness girls are in there. And I'll tell you what, those wellness girls were bigger than any figure competitor I had went against the day before. And I was like, what the hell division is that? And then I see they're like centaurs, and I was like, oh, wellness. But their shoulders, I mean, they're very muscular. So yeah, fit model, in my opinion, kind of made it okay for the other divisions to get bigger because they put a division in and said, okay, well, if you don't want to be that muscular, and we don't want any separation, then here's this, which means bikini gets a little more muscular. And it just, to me, that kind of made each division like gave the red light to get a little bigger, or the
Yeah,
green light. But it's
that's
I, it's already evolved because if you look at the first show with it to the last, couple shows, but that's a hard one to lean out and lift, but without any lines. Like, I don't know how you do that.
well, it's supposed to be a throwback to when he first started, but then, like I said, then the division is going to evolve eventually. We have here comment from your friend. He says this. He says, "I wasn't born yet, so I wouldn't know." Ha 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 ha.
Oh, it must be
Yeah,
so nice being that young.
yeah. He's still like an old man told me. He's still wet behind the ears and breath smell like Similac. So,
Yeah. Yeah. What are you
so
doing in bed at 7:30, 30 something? Zip it, girl.
yeah. So, folks, what we're going to do is where we get Asher here. We're going to jump into social media for a minute. If you want to follow her, the links of this live stream. But guys, be respectful to these ladies. Reach out with genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy. I know she's a beautiful young lady, but you guys, come on, come on. She got a kid. She got a man. I don't want to be here. I saw her man. He's a big dude. I don't want to be here. Somebody say, "Yo, George." Some guy just, "Hey, who you messing with?" "Oh, this girl Ashley Wallace and her boyfriend." "Yeah, that big dude." Said, "Oh hell no, you better know better." I mean,
He's
hell
the
no.
big one. I'm the scary one, though. So,
Yeah, that's the thing is that sometimes some guys be more afraid of their wives of than the husband. So we're gonna jump into social media for a bit. You want to follow the links in the description. And here she is. This is where she got her pro card. She was at the Universe, and it's probably one of the biggest shows for pro qualifications. I know. I remember a while back. I interviewed a couple of ladies who did bikini last year. There was like over 600 competitors, and I asked them, "How did you get your pro card with that many competitors? What was that like at the Universe for you?"
um, you know, I kind of feel like I hit the perfect show. Um, I mean, it was a very well run. It was a very good show. Compared to bikini, it's not near as big as divisions in figure. And they give out, with the exception of masters, the top two. So uh, I knew when I was splitting middle in my master's division, I was like, "Ooh, don't think I got it." And then I didn't know if I had it in open. I was like, I'm second or third. Like, here we go. So um, it worked out. I got it by the skin of my teeth, but it worked out.
Yeah, I interviewed a lady who also competed there, Rebecca Adney, and she also won her pro card there. I know our friend Abby, she won hers. I mean,
Mhm.
it was you two together hanging out here. Here she is, just a little video, and you also are a sponsored athlete, and this is by Jack Alien, right?
Yep, got it on today.
Yeah. How long you been sponsored athlete?
So that was last year. I started working with them, very cool guys, out of Michigan, and we'd seen them at a few shows and had talked to them and really liked their stuff more importantly, because there are a few companies that, I tried stuff and they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, Not loving it. Nothing special, but um, yeah, I knew once I tried their stuff, and they're Michigan boys, and they've been really great. So
Yeah. I think Michigan's really blowing up the map. I mean, you have at least three Miss Olympias, counting Iris Kyle, Linda Murray, Andrea Shaw, quite a few. I think they just had a show just this past this year on the Detroit Pro. I don't think they have figure yet. That'd be a great show if you ever think about making a debut.
yeah, I've heard really good things about that show. And I think the John Simmons Classic is in May, and he's looking to add some pro divisions for that too. So yeah, get some pro shows back going in Michigan. That
Yeah.
would be.
And mention John, is he your coach mainly?
Yes, he is. Yep.
And how long y'all been working together?
Um, yeah, for the last, we're gonna be going on 4 years here. It's like a love-hate relationship because today I can barely walk because we had legs this morning. But he's great, and that is the most, anybody who's looking for a coach, and I've coached a few people, doing their first shows and stuff, but it's really important to have a coach, one that you like to work with, that you trust, who knows what they're doing. But, he's not a man of many words, but when he does talk, it's like, yeah, you listen. Um, and he's just, no BS, right to it. He's got like the old school, we don't count macros. He's like, you eat this many ounces of this and this, that's it. Like, but he's that kind of coach. It's like having a good boss. Like, you don't want to disappoint him, right? So like, as much as I want like to go in there and kill it, I like really want him to be like, hey, great job. Like, and that's the type of coach you want, that pushes you like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's a good relationship with your coach. Here's her man and her baby. Oh, that's sweet. Y'all just a beautiful little family.
Oh, thanks.
What's your boyfriend name?
Matthew, Matt.
Matthew. And how long y'all two been together?
Oh God, we were just talking about this the other day. I think it's going on 5 years. I think it's like 5-ish years.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
so bad. But this has
And
been a crazy year. We became foster parents the beginning of this year, so I feel like this year's felt like 3 years.
that's
But
good.
it's really great.
And it's good that also he supports your bodybuilding. Is he interested in competing himself, or he just be the supporting bodybuilder husband?
Well, funny story about that. So he made me a bet that if I got my pro card, he would do a show. So he's got to do a show next year, and I actually gave him an out, and I'm like, hey, it's kind of something, if you're forced into doing, you're not going to finish it, right? Like it's not a sport to do like, maybe I'll try it. Like you have to be all in. And he said, nope, I made a bet. I'm going to do it. And he coaches a powerlifting team here locally, and he's big into lifting, but I said, it's different. So he's going to be doing a show next year, which I don't know if we're on prep at the same time. It's either going to be really great or one of us is going to kill each other. I haven't decided which one, but I'm excited for him.
Well, the thing is you got to find that person who's committed to you and understand what you're doing, because this is tough. I've talked to ladies who told me that who are married and have families, and then they got into bodybuilding seriously. The husband will just walk away because you, as a woman, are changing your aspects what's considered feminine.
Yeah.
I know two couple ladies told me they got divorced because
Oh,
bodybuilding.
I
Hmm.
could see that because, and especially because when we got together, like he didn't walk in with me already having this in my life. This is something that I started, and he could have been like, wait a minute, because he has to pick up a lot of extra slack around here, especially when I'm on prep. So, but he's been really great, super supportive. I mean, on the days when I'm like, I just don't think I have it, like, what am I doing? And he's like the one to pick me up. So he's been very supportive, which, if he wasn't, I wouldn't blame him. Like, hey, you didn't sign up for this, right? But yeah, he's been really great.
That's good because it's important to have somebody like because the thing you get into sport, it could change your life because you have to make lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
Family and friends, like you think about it, I've have heard stories where sometimes where family members may not be like, "Why are you doing this?" It's just like some lady would tell me that their parents were saying like, "We don't want you to get too big. We don't want you to be like get too manly." Like it's just there's always these ideals of what people think about bodybuilding.
Yeah. No, it's very true. Like, is it even healthy as they're drinking their Busch Light and eating their French fries? I'm like, hey, mom, yeah. No, sorry, mom, but seriously, um, yeah, there is a little bit of that, but like I said, I feel like the views are really changing towards women and being more muscular, and it's just it's nice that it's going that way.
Yeah. Well, here's your buddy. She got a comment, and she says this says, "We actually did our very first show ever together, and then got our pro cards together. That's great, because
Yeah.
that's good to have like someone like Abby, a good friend, and who's been like you both got your pro cards both at um Universe. What was
Yeah.
that feeling like, especially for you
Well,
when
she got hers first. So I was like so happy for her, but like I couldn't cry. Like I had to get on stage after that. But then I thought, oh shit, if she gets it and I don't get it, I'm gonna go celebrate with her, but I'm gonna be kind of bummed out. But so it worked out. I mean, I would have needed a little cool down time, and then I was so happy that she got it. But for us to get it together was just like even better. Um, so that was great. And yeah, we did our first show together, and we actually weren't. I mean, we knew each other, but we didn't really talk. And I remember I saw her, and obviously I was in bikini, and she was in physique, and I was like, "Oh, what division are you?" And she's like, "Physique," and I was like, "Oh, well, how do I be in that one? You don't have to wear heels." And she kind of just gave me this look, and we laugh about it now because I'm like, you're probably thinking, hey, bitch, you're 98 pounds. You're not in physique. Like, what are you talking about? But no, it's been, her and all the women I've met through this sport that have become like family. I mean, just to be surrounded with like-minded women who get it when you're like, I'm too tired to talk. Like, um, yeah, that's been really great.
I remember a while back, it was like around the holidays. Abby sent me this. She sent it to me. She shared it with me. This picture, and this
Yeah.
is you, Abby, Andrea, and some other ladies. I
Yeah.
posted it. I posted it in my IG. I actually took it and I made it like I made it a Christmas thing. And I used that picture put in the front, and I had like, so I got season greetings, and I had in the front like I designed it with a screenshot for a video. And this is great. Having all these ladies here, and there's my girlfriend sitting there. I mean, it's like almost a Christmas present.
You're like, this is on my mantle as well at the holiday time.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we get together, we're all close and stay in group chats. And, even if we're not in season, it's just like such a supportive community. I mean, more than any other sport I've been involved with, which is people would think it's the opposite. But, it can be a very lonely sport, but it doesn't have to be if you're surrounded by the right people. And, you know, any of those girls in that picture, I could be having a bad day or doubting myself, and I could call any one of them, and they're like, "Oh, girl, I was just thinking the same thing. Let's talk." Like, so it's just a great group of friends.
Yeah, it's good to have those bonds because this sport it's a fringe sport. It's not as well known as you look at sports like football, basketball, baseball. Right now the World Series is in a minute for a pennant race. It won't be long for the Super Bowl. And we just had the Super Bowl bodybuilding, the Olympia around the corner. Um, I most definitely knew that Andrea was going to win. Some divisions I was kind of surprised, others I wasn't surprised. As being a bodybuilder now, being a pro, what do you feel really could what bodybuilding can do to be more intrigued to people who are not fans of it?
You know, it's funny you ask that because I always think, why isn't the Olympia on ESPN? Why don't they do highlights from it? I mean, there's so many people who follow the sport that it could be even bigger. And okay, it's a business. We all know that. They would make more money the bigger it gets, the more fans they bring in. So, um, you know, I don't know. It's half naked women and ripped guys. Like, what else do they want? Like people yelling down the aisles for beer and popcorn, maybe. Like, but yeah, I mean, I think the women's divisions, I am seeing more fans, even in the last couple of years, there for the women's divisions, um, and staying for them instead of leaving after the men's. So I don't
Well,
know.
Well, with this is, back in the day, bodybuilding used to be on ESPN, used to be on also NBC News, NBC Sports used to have it, but then because of a certain kind of pads performance enhancing steroids, it's always been accused with it. But it's used by every sport. I know it's fighting Nate
NBA
Diaz.
with the mafia on a gambling thing right now. Like, are we worried about steroids? Because they're all using them too. I mean, if that's the reason, like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
scary.
that's 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 probably that's the thing is that, but because it's such a mainstream, but it's funny that you can turn. Like I remember when I went to Tampa, help my friend Eunice with a bad rap proof. And I got to my hotel. I was tired. I wanted to rest. I was flipping through television. And I was on ESPN Ocho. They were showing the pillow fighting league. These are people fighting. Pillow fighting is now a professional sport. Throwing darts, doing I mean, because I think because it's such a more easy sport for somebody to get onto. But here about bodybuilding, instead again, if you're not consistent, you don't follow a diet, you don't work out, you don't train, you don't understand the aspects of it. It's not everybody can't do it. Like the great Ronnie Coleman says, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one lift a heavy ass weight.
Yeah.